platform to different companies as well as people. So talking about the talents, we talk about developers, we talk about people doing maintenance, we talk about like Wi-Fi we use at home, or like the website. Actually, look at this very simple application, but behind the scene, there are a bunch of people support that application. And also not the internet-related companies. We also talk about the operators, suppliers, the upstream, downstream. Let's talk about the whole ecosystem. All the players within that ecosystem or on the same chain are all here on our platform. So this is also what we would like to create. So let's visit the first booth. This is called Lingxi in Chinese. So let's find out what it is. So let's see whether we can talk to someone. So let's make more sense about their technology and how their technology can improve our life. And believe this is something related to cloud. So we talk about data processing. So let's say data was stored in the cloud, our emails, our personal information, our WeChat talks, all actually stored at the cloud. And who really maintain the clock, whether it need to be cooled down or it's the high energy consumption application. So let's know more. So Mr. Lee, I believe he is in charge of this company. So this company related to the cloud management and also, of course, data. We talk about data so important. So basically, your job is to maintain and manage a healthy data center operation. So we talk about what we can provide is we provide a very green, sustainable, reliable data center. So we talk about the whole data, actually explosive development. And right now we're also in the era of new technology development. So with my more than decades of experience, we talk about the power generated before we use. Right now we have a higher requirement in electricity consumption. So what's the new requirement to us? So we need to update our technology framework. So before we only need, let's say, 100 stations. So if we have more electricity demanded, then we need to have more stations to provide. We also have our own way to deal it. So we also have our digital center. So we also have our cooling down system. So through AI, big data, cloud platform, help us to lower the energy consumption and also to realize a green development. Let's say when you use your smartphone or laptop, if we use it for a long time, it will be really like overheat, right? So that's why we need a little bit cool down system. So we talk about the environment required for data storage actually is quite strict. So we talk about in order to maintain a very healthy development and operation of all the internet system, where we talk about the whole national digital development. This is the cornerstone. We're right now also in the transformation stage. So think like it's like the wind, water, infrastructure, water supply system. So we talk about what we're doing is quite like the infrastructure for the digital society, the digital industry. So for the data center, we also would like to suggest the government to include the data center status into the KPI in order to evaluate a city development. So we talk about the internet to industrial internet. That's very different. The internet is still something at the top, at the clock, some up in the air. How we implement, we should get it down to different industries. So we provide 5 different physical protections. We also have our own firewall. We also have our own identification, verification system. We also have the encrypt technologies, but still, that's far from enough, and we keep upgrading ourselves in order to provide a better service to our clients. So with Mr. Li's introduction, we have a little bit taste about that. We talk about internet. We talk about our live stream. Actually, all based on data management, based on the infrastructure of internet world. Thank you, Mr. Li. Let's moving forward. So we don't want to make our live stream too technical, otherwise it's so boring. So what we're trying to do is we want to utilize this opportunity to give our viewers a taste, a look and a feel to talk about actually our apps, our smartphones, what exactly behind our smartphone, who actually provide the service to us. And look at this one. This is called IT Global. I believe they have a lot of business overseas. So this is IG Global. What we're talk about, actually, we not only limit ourselves in China. Look at the overseas service. So if we have data produced or captured overseas, then who should be in charge of this? So how we also transmit data. So what we provide our end users is the overseas or cross-border data transmission. And of course, the security issues also in our scope. So in the recent years, people have paid more and more attention to the data safety. So we also do the self-development and self-innovation. So we have our devices to protect our users' data. So we want our end users can feel free and feel very easily to visit different applications. So look at the global map. There's a lot of different ITC that's with a very high standard of safety. So that's the protection we can provide to our users around the world. And also under the framework of Belt and Road Initiative, we also provide the customized ITC service and also maintenance to our coastal clients. So we give our viewers a look because you think it's really hard to understand. But I can tell you that because of all of these, make our life easier and safer. So we talk about actually the players here. They are the heroes behind the scene. Same like our cameraman. So you cannot really see his face. He's just behind the screen, but he is the one really make his contribution to make our live stream come true. Same for our apps. Same for our internet. So for our end users, for our viewers, you can see our live stream. You can use your smartphone. You can do shopping online. All actually should give the credit to all the people, all the service people behind the scene from different operators, suppliers. So look at this one. So this company, I believe in their name, something related to connectivity. So what your company is doing? So we're also a data center service provider. We have 5,000 clients, so that include different sectors. So the traffic data service we provide online actually provided through our data center. We talk about the data space infrastructure, what exactly it is. We talk big data, right? Very explosive, large number, bucks of data. So where we should put it? So what we want to provide is a high efficient, reliable data center. So talk about November 11. Behind it, so we need to have a really reliable and safe support for the Double 11 party, right? So we also knew a good news that there is a optic fiber from Hong Kong to Los Angeles. So that will be laid under the sea. So as long as we complete the construction of that optic fiber, can connectivity be much easier and smoother? Of course, it's not an easy job. I believe the whole project is still undergoing, not finished yet. But from Hong Kong to Los Angeles. So please update us about DA progress. So this is we talk about DA let our technology go abroad. That's also the part of the Belt and Road Initiative in order to make the response to President Xi Jinping. And we work with Google, Facebook. So our three parties work on this optical fiber under the sea. So we also make our data, make our internet, make our service overseas. So this is the company called PLCN Cable. So we look at we visit different booths. We look at for all these number of data, they all stored in different data centers. You look at this is just same as the office buildings or parking facilities. But you look at this is actually the data center, or our data actually stored in this type of buildings. We talk about big data service provider. Different servers actually stored inside of this building. So we want to make it in this way to really let people to understand that the servers, the exchanges actually all installed inside. No one really working inside. What it's for is for store data. This is what we call cloud. So actually have a really strict requirement on the infrastructure, on buildings. So they have a high requirement on environment. So for the operators, actually, they can put their backstage administration here. So this can enable them have a high efficient, reliable, safe operation. So this is something we really need in terms of data center. So think about this is kind of a base layer for the whole digital world. So we emphasize green, we emphasize environmental friendly service. So we also work with other partners. So we as the leading companies will also actually participate in a standardization establishment in green technology development in terms of data center infrastructure. We talk about data center is not something virtual or science fiction. It is something really there physically. So let's look at the equipment cabinet. Let's look at this cabinet, or let's say the box, the black box. They are exactly the ones to store our data. Let's call it black box. So this is the data center box. So they will all installed in the data center building. So I would like to know more about how the data, let's say, or our information, digital information, or our favorite videos, our pictures, because we like to upload our pictures to the cloud. Actually, that pictures we upload all to this kind of box, right? So we talk about W11. So we have a 2 trillion trade volume that's all stored in this kind of black box. So that's a really fast speed delivery and deploy. So we talk about the deployment. This is all stored here. So it seems like a product line. So a lot of things actually is assembled in the production line. So everything actually is almost finished. So if our clients, they place orders at the front desk and at the back desk, we have all these actually on our pipeline, our production line, ready to be delivered. And we also have the shared data center. We have 8 research centers in China. So look at our provider service or applications. Actually, they have very good sales this year. So we talk a lot about data center, black box. So talk about this year's conference or this kind of expo. We have all the elites here. What kind of the cutting-edge themes we will cover this year? We have the 2 conference relate to the vehicles, and we also have the conference regarding the blockchain, smart city, smart transportation, as well as operation, maintenance, infrastructure, front stage, backstage. And we also have the conference regarding the finance. Talk about the vertical finance. Talk about operation or maintenance. This is critical importance. So right now we have a company they are doing autonomous maintenance. So we want to release our engineers from the front line. So we share the burden of our engineers. So during the whole course of internet development, actually we can do a lot of things just at home. Like we talk about go to the hospital, you do not need to pay a visit to the hospital. When we talk about how it can take our prescriptions, actually we can have a data application or the interface in the hospital or in the pharmacies, so we can really realize, make orders at home. So when we talk about actually we change our way of life, we talk about the new retail. This is really change our life. We talk about the food delivery. So make sure just stay at home, just by click the button, the food, everything can be delivered door to door. We talk about medical service. So we talk about the babies or child before going to schools. They can also do this kind of the remote health service at home. And this we talk about the automatic maintenance. So this is the engineer from the company. We talk about its automation. So this is based on AI, big data, algorithm. So through the algorithm, actually they can find you the root cause of the bugs or the problems or the unusual errors. Can help you to really find all this detect before the things really happened. So this is kind of the AI ops where we talk about automatic maintenance. We talk about everything related to AI. But actually, we talk about the errors, we talk about problems. Actually, that's all different. We should make a decision by ourselves. AI can really reach that level. Talk about the data, actually. We need to have, for sure, enough meaningful data, the historical data. And based on the algorithm, we can train our algorithm, and on certain scene, we can quickly have the algorithm to the corresponding scenes. And of course, algorithm cannot solve all the issues. There will be some errors. So the human beings will jump in to correct it. And then the algorithm will be improved and will produce better service and better result next time. That's all we call AI. So we know we have a main conference hall, and we also have other summits. So we talk about TikTok or Douyin in Chinese. So that's more related to the video. We have Tencent Video, iQIYI, and all other apps. So this is all in 1 hour special parallel session. So we divide the experts into 2 parts. So they will share the technical issues, and they discuss the solutions, or they talk about the root cause behind. So we have a specific sessions regarding videos. So we talk about TikTok, WeChat, iQIYI, and all the related or video-related companies. So we have the tactical experts coming together. We gather them together and divide it into 2 groups. They will share about the errors or the issues they found during their daily work. So let's pay a visit to their session. Let's look at what exactly they are talking about. I believe it's not an easy job to gathering all different people here, right? Especially all these experts. So every year, through different scale of summits, conference, meetings, workshops, we would like to gather experts, technical personnel together to learn from each other and to discuss the issues they face from their daily life. That's also kind of a way we want to pay our contribution back to the society and do good to the public. So the parallel sessions on the 3rd floor. So I believe this kind of expo or the summit actually happened once per year. We look at the people born after 1990s. Believe it is a really good opportunity for them to have this platform to learn from the veterans. We talk about the internet conference, and also actually the senior managers from the internet company that really like to share their experience and talk to the young generations. So that is also why we want to have this platform, to see that we have the very good spirit, the professionalism shared and carried forward generation by generation. We talk about not everything is confidential. Confidential or make it secret is not benefit, or actually is not really a competitive advantage. So you share to each other, learn from each other, then that will do good to the whole industry. That will be really push forward the development of the industry. Like we have an open fair core, that's a community initiative by Xiaomi. So Xiaomi, Meituan, and 汽车之家, that's the vehicle-related companies. So they work together on that shared platform to drive the whole industry moving forward. So in recent years, we also have the TV dramas related to that very fancy, looking very good apps. But that's actually behind the scene. That's a lot of different programs, codes. So this is our 3rd floor. We talk about data center. Actually, here we also have a lot of data center related companies. We have so many different apps. So for all different apps that require the data center to help them to operate and do the maintenance job. So as long as we have our RISE apps, are more data centers required. So let's going forward to the parallel sessions. So here, different rooms, different meeting rooms have different parallel sessions. So they talk about, we're going to see the TikTok one, and for others, it's the maintenance, operation. Actually, we have people really occupy the whole room. Look at different meeting room. It's always full house. So we talk about we're gathering the experts, technical personnel gathering here to share their experience. We are heading to the TikTok meeting room. So we look at the quality session. We talk about each software during the whole design development phase. That's actually the baby of the developers, the technical people. And we also have a global session that talk about overseas business. So it's a full house. So look at that. This is our 2018 Global Internet Technology Summit. So we are right now in front of the globalization session. So let's go inside to overhear what they are talking about. You can see this is a full house. People just standing at the back seat. So this parallel session is under the theme of globalization. So to all the viewers right now, you're looking at our live streaming brought you from the China Convention Center. And I would like to talk to one of our viewers here. So you're from Beijing, right? So you're also people from internet world, right? Yes, I'm doing the overseas business for internet companies. So that is why I really like to hear about the globalization. A lot of companies right now, they also have their plans overseas. So I'm coming from eCloud. So for cloud computing side, we're ranked top 3. So like Alibaba and Tencent, they're the 2 companies before us. So you can see you are so proud of your company. Yes, we have a really good business, especially overseas. So you're born after 1990s, right? How long have you been in this industry? 6 years. Talking about eCloud or the whole platform, why you would like to come to the conference? So first of all, it's a very meaningful sharing for me, and I can really learn a lot, and also would like to hear about anything really new just emerged in the industry. So I see you coming to the globalization session, right? So just now they talk about the scale of overseas markets. Indonesia, Africa, Europe, and America. So for our company, we started from Americas and then to the Europe, to the Indonesia, and right now we're coming to Africa. I believe actually we really learn a lot. So you knew some speakers? Yes. So someone I knew them, and someone actually is from our partner companies. So I think it's really meaningful to come in here, right? Yes. Thank you so much. You can see a lot of young people here. They really like to learn. So I believe, although it's a little bit tired, but it's really worth to come in here. For one speech, it's around 45 minutes. But you can see they write down notes or take recording or taking videos. So we believe we have also different kinds of workshops, right? But it's far from enough, I believe. Yes, for young people, they really like to learn. They have a very strong desire to learn. So this session is about AI. Of course, AI is so hot topic. And China also make a lot of groundbreaking innovation and development like iFly Tech, WeChat. They're also doing a very good job in audio image recognition or the language processing. So, of course, security is something we must mention. No matter what kind of technology you're doing, security is the fundamental. We talk about the big names. They are all coming here. They actively participate for the national key strategies. And they also coming here. So let's come into our TikTok. Okay, not yet. So we are heading to the TikTok session. So besides technical people, I believe we also have the young generations. Some already devoted themselves into this industry, and some will be very soon be one of the players. So we talk about internet companies. You can look at their average age of the players, quite young. And we can see more and more people actually make themselves inside the world of internet. We talk about actually we have more and more people coming into the internet companies. So with more different thoughts, we will see one day we'll reach the ceiling. So which means we'll not have many further development. Actually, this worry too much. The things will not really happen. Because one word we need to mention is disruption. Disruption. We have Didi. So Didi before is only for taxis. But right now, so Didi actually expand its scope of business. So we talk about different disruptive technology, different kind of disruptive innovations actually make our companies, business, technologies improve and upgrade. So here, all these actually is more really the hardcore discussion. So what we are looking here, all these sessions are closed door sessions. So look at this is talk about the technical people. They talk about something still under development. So one day they make this coming true, they will share to the public. So you're looking at here actually are the closed door discussion. So let's coming in and stand at the back. This is the session regarding TikTok, Tencent Video, and other video-related apps companies. So you look at the people here, either they are the technical people or they are the senior managers. To look at the sharings, they talk about the industrial development and also the status quo, and they will later on also share about their real issues or the real bugs or the real headache to others. So they will have a really good discussion. So I believe we also have a lot of CTO here. So I believe we see a moderator, maybe not in this session. Let's go to find him. So that person is also one of our keynote speakers for the morning session. And he actually is talking about infant medical service or infant diagnosis. So this is the session regarding TikTok. They are really, really serious. So I believe they shared the cases either from their own company or from their partners. Let's look at the car industry. I believe we talk about smart cars, electronic cars, car networking, autonomous driving. All these are frequently mentioned topics. We talk about autonomous driving as still based on the signals layout along the route. So I believe right now the speaker talking about car industry, new retail, how new retail can be practiced in the car industry. So the speaker asking who pay a visit before to the vehicle museum, only two audience. You look at the session here is regarding the car industry. We talk about how really to link car industry and internet together. So talk about internet. And we should mention about the key consumption mainstream, because right now we talk about the mainstream. Actually, they are the people born after 1980s and 1990s. They are really have the fast consumption. And they would like to spend a small proportion on the products like cars. So we talk about like the cars or the transportation service. They would like to spend their money in an efficient, smart, and digital way. So it's like car sharing. We look at different business models actually are changed. And we also can look at a new way of transportation are actually based on the new consumption logic. Right now we talk about for the development of technology and also the business model, we still face some bottleneck, but this is the momentum, irreversible. Before, actually, we produce cars based on the private or privatization, which means I own this car, I have the key only to this car. But in the future, what we are doing, or for the car companies, what they are making the car based on the idea of sharing. So maybe you not really have a car or a key for a car, but you have an app for the car. So which means this is one car, but that's corresponding to apps, and apps can face to different users. So I believe in the coming 5 to 10 years, maybe no one really want to spend a whole bunch of money to buy one car. What they would like to do is they maybe download an app and rent or share a car. So let's see a consensus among the people in the car industry. Yes, that's a momentum. I don't know whether the people all agree with me because I am from the sharing section. So what my company is doing is we're working on a new model. So that's different from the traditional car sharing business. Not my company buy a bunch of cars in our warehouse. Actually, this is a whole bunch of money invested, money required, and also the whole bunch of assets. So we first collect the data in the market and also to do the survey on the people born after 1980s and 1990s. We study their behavior in terms of consumption. So we more would like to design based on their needs and their habit. So for the car company, actually, they also tell me that it's really hard to sell cars. So they right now think about maybe the car sharing or the sharing transportation. It's a new way. Still, this is a really new topic. We talk about the policy-wise. We talk about the rules, regulations. All actually are at the very, very starting points, at the very beginning stage. So it's a little bit hard to push it forward. So this is really cutting edge, something unknown. So I'm not really afraid of failure. If you not do it, other one will do it for you. So for people born after 1980s, we are brave enough to do something new. So that's also with the tide of internet, let's make things possible, like make our dream come true. We want to save the resource for the public. We talk about the sharing economy. We talk about the sharing model, but they just under the name of sharing, but they create a lot of waste. What we want to do, what we want to achieve is want to do good to the public, to save the resource. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. So I believe our conference really covered a lot of the key areas, and also believe that provide a lot of challenges, solutions to the young generations. So I would like to continue our platform and also make it a learning platform for the players, and also be conducive for our Chinese companies going abroad. And also, of course, we also would like to invite our peers overseas seeing our endeavor and efforts made by the Chinese colleagues. So that's also coming to the end of our live stream. We would like to see more people focus on the development of technology development, internet development, and also encourage young generations to do more. Thank you.